Welcome everyone to the beginners room with me today. It's Monday, and this is when we talk about the act of buying and selling. So whether you're tuning in with me on YouTube or you're with me on the XM beginners room, do well to use the chat box. Ask me your questions. Let's know what you're trading this week or what you have plans on trading this week. How are you preparing for trading the market this week? The chat box is open while we analyze the market together and look at what we have on our economic calendar so that we can start planning on how we are going to be trading within this week. So if you tune in with me, let's know in the chat box. I'm going to be opening up the economic calendar. We look at it together. Let's start from there. Then we will go ahead to look at what it involves to analyze the market. Because when we talk about buying and selling in the market, we know this involves being able to look into the market using different analysis style or whichever analysis style you prefer, and making your decision based on what you are able to tell the direction of the market to be. Okay, so which one do you like to trade with? Is it fundamental analysis, technical? Which one is your favorite analysis style, and what does it involve? Especially for those who are new to the market and are still struggling to really understand the different ways of looking into the market. We will talk about them on today's class. All right, so let's start with the economic calendar. Let me bring that to your page. I have filtered for high impact so that we don't bother with the ones with lower impact. So our attention is going to be mainly on the expected news that have high impact. We also want to remember in the last week, we have some number of interest rate decisions, which may still be having impact on the market within this week. So we want to pay attention to those and know how we're going to be trading the market based on how all of these fundamental economy events are going to be having or are going to be impacting the market. All right, so we have also this week some interest rate decision. You would see the BOE on Thursday, Bank of England interest rate decision. Let's go take a look at it. So it is expected that from 4.75%, there's going to be a rate cut of 25 basis points, taking it to 4.5%. So we will see how the market is reacting to that. It is also a good thing to start planning on how you're going to trade it. And also, importantly, the NFP on Friday, non-farm payroll. We know NFP comes up usually the first Friday of the month. So this Friday, we're expecting it for the US non-farm payroll unemployment rate as well. And for Canada, we're expecting employment change and unemployment rates. So this will have impact on the market, and it's quite important to pay attention to them. Another one that is noteworthy of what is the initial jobless claim on Thursday. Okay, so paying attention to that can help you to prepare ahead for the NFP on Friday. Also, we have the retail sales for the Euro area that same Thursday, unemployment rate for Swiss franc and balance of trade for Australia for same Thursday. Before then, there are going to be, one or two different high impact rates, news for each of these major zones. For instance, in the Euro area, we're expecting the inflation reports today, which is Monday, by 10 a.m. GMT. My own time, it's 11 a.m., which is going to be within the next hour, right? So within some 53 minutes from now, we're expecting that the inflation report for the Euro area. And I think that will help us a lot to prepare or to know how we're going to be trading euro. Hello, Dele, good to have you here. My weekend was fine. How was yours? All right, so that will go a long way in helping us know how we're going to be trading in these markets. All right, so that knowing that already, we want to move on and talk about what we have. I had as of Friday, euro yen, and it was a nice trade because it moved as I expected before now changing direction again. I think I was, yes. Let me open it. So you would see how it moved. I had entered the sell from here and it pushed all the way down here, and it started to move down. As at the close of business on Friday, it was just a little bit like this. But as the market opens and it opens lower, it's a good one for me because that's where my take profit is, and it just closed in profits. Okay, so right now I'm expecting a pullback. I will expect that there will be like the price moving up, perhaps blocking, kind of covering that gap before continuing down. That's what I expect. So I'm looking to see the price, correcting, pushing to the upside for some times in correction before we see another continuation to the downside. But like I said earlier, we're going to start with looking at the analysis style, the different ways of analyzing the market. And from there, we will go and now analyze the market using at least one of the different ways of market analysis. So let's start with the analysis type. Okay, so we have different forex analysis styles, especially for people who probably are still new to the market. Sometimes it is difficult for them to make a decision on which one is they're going to be analyzing with, or they may not even know there are other ways of analyzing the market other than perhaps the technical analysis that they first learn. Most of the time, people start with the charts. They get to learn about the candlesticks, how to enter, how to exit a trade. And because of that, they forget that there are other ways that they can analyze the market. So that's why it's quite important to take a look at these different ways of looking into the market. All right, so we're going to be looking at understanding market analysis. What market analysis is, that's what we're going to be discussing in this class. We will look at the different analysis style, like the fundamental analysis, technical, fundamental, and we'll also talk about which one is best, okay, or which one are you going to be choosing. That's what we're going to be looking at together today. So let's start with what fundamental analysis is. When we talk about fundamental analysis, this has to do with the practice of examining the changes in currency pairs prices and the forces. Sorry, not fundamental analysis, forex analysis. Okay, that's where we are looking at starting from. Because like I said, we have different ways of looking into the market. We have the technical, we have the fundamental and the sentiment. But what does it even mean to analyze the market? This has to do with examining changes in the price and the forces that influencing that price change that you see on your chart. So you open up your chart and you notice that perhaps you started, at a point, the price was somewhere here. And now before you know it, it is at another place. For instance, the trade I showed you earlier, which I entered, and as at the close of Friday, it was just somewhere, still far away from where the take profit would be. But by the open of business today, there was a gap and the price had moved much more down. And that helped me to be able to close the price at a good point. To be able to close the trade at a good point. Yes, the traffic tariff announcement, and I was looking at the news, and I saw that Canada also kind of hit back with their own tariffs announcements on some of the US goods. So the US dollar is temporarily strong. Tariff on Canada, Mexico, and China. Let us see USD CAD, USD MP, MSP, and USD CNY. Okay, we'll take a look at them, the different ones. So these tariffs, it had a lot of impact over the weekend, and I think it might likely continue to impact the market because all these other zones will start coming up with their own tariffs too. They would probably want to come up with something. It might either be that they sit down and decide on what is best, or they get angry, or they also decide on, bringing up their own tariff, which probably would now be bigger than that of the US. But let's look at the different instruments. Like you have said, we're going to look at the USD CAD. So for USD CAD also, we have a gap. There's a gap in the market, so the upside, getting USD stronger. And that's what we see here. The first candle that, was here was an engulfing bullish candle. And I think that candle, in fact, was the one closing the market. Yes, that was a candle that closed the market as of Friday. And it is obvious that's a big bullish candle, which is giving us an engulfing move. So on a normal day, looking at that, you will expect that price wants to continue up. And interestingly, with that gap, it still move all the way up. I am expecting to see a closing of that gap by the time we see like some pullback. Okay. USD CNY. I don't trade those ones, so I'm going to be adding them. USD CNY. No, it's not calling. So let's look at USD Mexico, MXN, Mexico pesos. Okay, it's the same. You can see the gap for all of them. There is just a gap with the USD getting stronger than most of this currency. This one as well, there's a gap. So at the moment, the price is still in an uptrend. For all of them, I will expect to see a pullback before any continuation. And if there is change in policy, there's also the possibility that, in fact, the trend changes entirely and US dollar becomes a weaker one. But at the moment, US dollar seems to still be the stronger one. What we are seeing are mainly correction, okay? They are correction mostly. And here, I think we also have an inverted head and shoulders. With this inverted head and shoulders, we already can see that the price wants to move to the upside. We have bullish divergence, we have inverted head and shoulders, all supporting that the price is likely going to move to the upside. And that's what we are seeing. So with the events in the market, with new policies here and there from the new president, I think a lot is going to be happening in the market. We are going to see much volatility like we're already seeing this early Monday. Maybe the whole week is going to be filled with activities like this. So it's quite important to pay attention to this and make our decision based on these different ways of analyzing the market. I was just talking about analyzing the market using different styles, like fundamental, technicals, and that's what we can see already. the gaps we are seeing in the market, we can trace it back to fundamental events, economic events in the countries involved, and it is reflected in the price. You would see the price gapping to the upside, with a strong move in the upside and causing strong momentum in the market. And of course, that's what we want to see in the market. We want to see momentum. We want to see the market moving quite well in order for us to be able to make good trading decision. All right. So you would see the importance of learning how to analyze with not just the technical, but also the fundamental. Because if I have just the technical